Thank you very much. We want this to be a discussion, yeah. So the panel will probably, hopefully, feed some ideas around among the audience in terms of the challenges and possible solutions for the oil and gas industry. But I would very much, of course, like to have the participation from the audience so that we can have a really engaged discussion this morning. So maybe I will start our discussion. We have already outlined some of the challenges facing Indonesia in terms of the production capacity and, of course, attracting new investments into the oil and gas sector. The minister noted in his speech today that 80% of investments into Indonesia actually in oil and gas. So, in terms of the overall picture, oil and gas is not doing so well, not doing so badly because they are attracting investments. But maybe, for Vijay, if I can ask you, are they going into the right industries, into the right sectors within the oil and gas industry? And from your perspective, from the government's perspective, how are we going to boost investments, both of course domestic as well as foreign?
Yes, Pak. Thank you, Pak. On behalf of the government in oil and gas sector in this difficult time because of the oil prices not very good as before, we do a lot of things, a lot of action to attract investment first in the upstream and also in the midstream and downstream. In the upstream, as you know, Pak Minister already announced there is a growth split to make the system is much simpler and also make the time is much shorter to develop the area. However, we need to see the input from all of the stakeholders, what is the best way to implement this regulation. In terms of boosting the production, if I can divide it into short term and mid term and also to the long term. For the long term, exploration is the key. This is one of aspect we need to do a lot of things. We are going to release new regulation of the open data for the exploration. We watch some country, for example, Mexico lately, do a lot of things and makes the exploration is massive in Mexico. That's in the upstream. In the downstream, Pak Minister already mentioned, we attract a lot of investment in refinery, in the infrastructure, as Pak Hendy mentioned. We do a good, we have a lot of good investment in the downstream. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pak. So maybe can we move to Pak Zikrullah as from SKK Migas. In terms of also attracting investments, I mean, you work with, of course, I'm sure with the government very closely. In the gas sector, really, you know, where do you think are the opportunities for new investments to come in?
Thank you, Pak. So I think with the theme of this conference is quite challenging, reshaping on the the energy sectors. I think this is the right moment when we talk about the gas price versus the availability of gas itself. In fact, that right now is the gas producer is more than the demand from the other side. So it's more supply than demand in the domestic. But then the question is that the infrastructure, how we could deliver the gas from the upstream to the downstream. This, of course, the infrastructure could not handle by the upstream activities from SKK Migas with our colleague from PSC. So I think the ability to be able to deliver the gas, it become one of the items need to be resolved. The other item, I think, when we look into the regulation, as we mentioned here in the topics, such the policy and regulation to boost the production, I think now the government with some of the minister regulation, even they we regulate, I mean the government issued for the gas price. This is, when we look into the positive side, this will become the certainty of the price that will not be low for a certain price, of course, and relates to the ICP. The second and next, what we heard also, the minister will issue on the minister decree on the allocation of the gas to the energy sector. This again will become a positive gesture actually, but then how the other sector of the industry would have the supply if all the allocation of the energy to the, I mean for the upstream gas to the electricity, for instance. So this is another challenge for us. For sure, the condition of the next demand for the domestic, it will increase. And we predict that in the gas balance, within 3 years ahead, that we'll need more gas. And in fact, that maybe we'll import. And also if we look into the government regulation that is that regulate, that we may possible to import of the gas. So for the upstream activities, I think quite challenging, and we have very promising what you call it, location to be able to for the new exploration company. And the thing is that another items maybe I would should mention here, that now the government, especially in the energy sector, has been regulated from almost 104 permits. It's become 6, right, Pak? It's become 6. They regulate more. So we expect also now we have the committee with the coordinating minister of economics. Also we try to regulate in the upstream activities itself, almost 372 license for all about 5 activities. So it also being reduced to certain number of license. So when we go into detail, it's more license to be deregulated, so it become more, what you call it, another transparency to the public. Now it's the data from SKK Migas. We could go into the website and we could see the production, we could see the any items of the PAC. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak. I think it's quite clear that, of course, the government is very committed to ensuring that, red tape is removed, the investment climate is improved. As you say, number of permits from 104 to just 6.
Yes.
That's a huge jump, yeah. Pak Syamsul, maybe if I can turn to you as Pertamina and as a player in the market, has this helped you, from your perspective? Is it make it easier for you to do business in this sector?
First of all, thank you very much. Yes, of course, Pertamina is
Mic-nya ya, tolong.
Pertamina is NOC and also state-owned enterprises. So all of the strategy and the policy in Pertamina must be considered 2 things. First, what is the country interest and what is the company needs. So we have to be able to balance that one. Of course, as upstream in the upstream activities, of course, we have also responsibility to help the government to fulfill the energy, especially the oil and gas. But I just want to refresh what is our status actually right now. If we see the